Hi, my name is Jilian Stambolich. I'm an FDK teacher in York Region District School Board, and I'm thrilled to be part of the EdTech Camp on Air again in 2019. Last year, I brought some thinking about how we can use tech with tools in Google to document and capture student thinking, and then how we can use that for assessment and reporting. Recently, we've switched over to the Edsby platform, which has brought some challenges but also some opportunities for us as educators to really think about how we're doing what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing, and then what we can do with tech to help amplify student learning. Research, John Hattie found a strong positive correlation between parents' aspirations and expectations and improved student learning. Karen, where do you see your role as a teacher in this partnership?
I think my role in the parent and teacher partnership is really to communicate. I really want my parents to feel like they know what's going on in the classroom all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think this helps the parents understand what we're learning about, how it connects to their child, why it's relevant, how the curriculum plays out over time, how in a kindergarten sense play is still learning and working and achieving. And I think when the parents are using tools interactively with me, like Edsby does, and they have an opportunity to see their kids' work on a very daily, sometimes weekly, but mostly daily, for a few kids at least, then they have an opportunity to have those conversations at home. And this was what I was talking to you the other day about. It's not just a case anymore where they can go home and say to their child, "What did you do at school today?" And the child says, "Nothing, played outside," that kind of thing. They can actually start the conversation because they've had a picture of some student work or a note from me on Seesaw or Edsby. They can pick up the conversation from that. "Oh, I see today you were working on," let's use an example from my classroom. "Oh, today I see you were working on hyenas. That's so cool. What did you learn? Were you doing some writing?" And, the parents can feel, I think, much more connected to what we're doing because of these tools.
I don't know about your house, but at our dinner table, nothing kills a conversation faster than Mommy asking, "Hey, what'd you learn about at school today?" I'm wondering, can tech offer a glimpse into the conversation and learning experiences that students have outside school with their families, in their community, and can it be fed back into the learning that's happening in the four walls of the classroom? So in our phone calls that we've had on the phone and previously, we've talked a little bit about tech as a way to open doors to the classroom for families. But I guess this question is more about how can become a reciprocal relationship between home and school to support the student learning.
Well, the reciprocity is dependent on so many things. But I think are we talking just specifically with technology tools?
Yeah, I'm thinking about because I've shifted from Google and trying to use Edsby on an intentional basis. I know that your experience you can talk to about using other tools as well.
Yeah, but I think that is the beauty of the tools, because as much as we message to them, they message to us. I think probably the bigger thing from a John Hattie point of view, or perhaps from what you're focusing on, is does the parent reciprocity hit learning, or is it just day-to-day task related? Are you going outside today? Do you need help for pizza day? Those kinds of things, right? That's a lot of what parents communicate about. It would be nice if we could develop their sense of the tools being used to talk more about the learning. For instance, when we send our book bags home each night, it'd be a nice sort of way, it would be nice if the parent would use it to say, book was really easy or had trouble with this, or maybe could you suggest some ideas? They could use it as a forum to ask questions back when they're helping their child at home. But I think that would probably only happen if we really, I guess, laid the groundwork for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that we really have. Anyway, people are so used to using these kinds of tools as quick messaging and housekeeping type
Mm-hmm.
things, right? So maybe we need to work with them to help them understand that it could be used more to support the learning at home.
Yeah, I think that to your point about that intentional act on our part to not only invite them in, but also give some skills and, teach the why.
Yeah.
When we went to school, let alone our parents and the parents of our children, often information was just a one way. It was school to home, and there was the report card or that phone call home, or like you say, could be an invitation to the school play, but we weren't really invited into developing a learning community. So that's a skill and a mindset that we're actually thinking about shifting or developing in the parents that we have in our community. But what a great place to start.
Well, as we're talking, I'm thinking like I could easily put a prompt out to my families on Edsby or Seesaw, just on a sort of weekly basis or whatever, that just would ask them, how did the reading go last night? Right? And then we could maybe open up that conversation a little more. It's honestly something I haven't thought about doing a whole lot of, but I think it would be very smart to do that.
Yeah, great place to start.
Yeah.
Currently, my professional goal is to make what I say what I do. This can be difficult sometimes because most of teaching is built on relationships to the families, to our students, and to our understanding of the curriculum. So, Karen, what is something that you are trying in your classroom to decrease the gap between what you say and what you do?
Now I'm in the sense of
there
we go.
This classroom is so beautiful. So Karen, you and I are just having a conversation, and one of the things that you were talking about was your outdoor learning space, your outdoor kitchen, and that's something you're really proud of. And that's something that you said you have made what you say that you value and is good for student learning, what you do. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, I think for me, the say-do is clearly demonstrated in our outdoor learning program because of how it reflects not only a lot of our curriculum expectations, which highly focus on outdoor learning, even though it may not seem obvious at first glance. And I think I also am pretty much doing what I should be doing, reflecting what I'm saying in literacy. But I think the technology piece, while I use the tools to document well in terms of gathering for each child and across our plans and with connections to the curriculum, I'm probably not using it to the extent of complete pedagogical documentation, in that when I take my photos and I recognize what the kids are working on, I think I probably need to work a little harder to incorporate the next step and the specific instructional piece that goes with the learning that I've recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're just saying maybe that's something that we can suggest and push forward as well.
And I think it's really, Jillian, what you said is if they prompted you for not just the curriculum expectation or your observations, but if they prompted you for next step, you might just get it in there. Whereas right now what you get in is what they said and what you wanted to note from the learning, and then you're on to the next.
Right.
But if you're prompted, I think that would really help.
So what an amazing conversation I got to have with Karen. Tech was not our friend. We had multiple attempts at getting all of our thoughts into video so we could create this moment of our co-thinking, how we can improve our teaching to support student learning. We're very different educators at different schools, but we've come together on a common vision that we know that tech can be a supportive piece, and we know our why, so the how and what is really where we're at. I learned a lot just from talking through some ideas with Karen, and really appreciate all of her time and her support and her patience, as well as to the DLRTs at YRDSB for their patience as well, getting everything submitted. I hope you enjoyed listening in on our conversation, and we would love some of your ideas fed back to us. You can reach me on Twitter at Jill Stam. Also, we're always available on email through our board accounts, and there is always a comment section that you can find us in through the EdTech Camp on Air main site that the DLRTs put together for us. Thanks so much for dropping in on our conversation, and look forward to chatting with you soon too. Bye.